today's episode of the Roadhouse Podcast, Winnie D's is back. Roadhouse and Winnie D's talk about the Montauk Project,
the Philadelphia
Experiment. What else?
What else?
What else? Yeah, let's get this show on the road. We can't wait to tell you what we've been up to.
I can't wait to show you what we've been doing.
A little bit of history, talking some movies, what's new, what's hot.
The land of the week.
So sit back, relax, and enjoy the podcast.
Today we don't just talk, we on talk.
Show on the road.
Let's get this show on the road. Roadhouse.
Enjoy the show.
What's up, Roadhouse Mafia?
What is up?
Welcome to the Roadhouse Podcast, the most natural and unapologetic podcast in the world. The boys are back in town.
Reunited.
Roadhouse, I'm your host. Join with me, my co-host, Winnie D's.
Good to be back.
In the flesh. Harder than ever. Still white.
Still white.
Still white as balls. No coronavirus.
No corona.
I'm working on that Modelo virus right now. If I had a Modelo.
Coors Light virus.
It's the Coors virus.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Free marketing for corona.
Oh, dude. Who came up with that name? Like, how does that not... Why is it not the sake virus? Or is sake's Japanese?
Yeah, sake.
You
Yeah.
ever been to sushi? You put the shot glass of the sake?
It's a Chinese virus, I thought.
Oh, you don't like fish.
I don't like fish. Well, I'm working up to it.
Yeah. You miss out on those halibut burgers. I think I got one patty left. Delicious.
I'll eat whatever you give me.
So yeah, dude, I got these Zen pouches.
Yeah.
I haven't had the manly tobacco in like over a month.
That's good, man. Once you become married, you kind of give away kind of a part of your manliness.
Dude, I had to tell the store over here. I was like, hey, don't sell it to me if I go in. So I've been getting these Zens.
They have your picture up there.
Yeah.
Right by like the shoplifters.
Holy shit. Speaking of shoplifters, today I went to Plaid Pantry in Portland.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting a couple Gatorades.
That's the Wild West, Plaid Pantry, man.
Dude, Plaid is Red Dead Redemption.
If you guys don't know Plaid, if you guys aren't from Oregon or Washington, it is like apocalyptic convenience store. It's like 7-Eleven took a shit.
They're deli shit.
Yeah, they got nothing. They have good beer prices though.
Well, not to this bum. This guy.
I would say it's definitely like it's bum central for sure. The sad state of affairs.
This is right by the water, right by the bridge. If I look where I'm working, the water right there, the Columbia or whatever, the Columbia Access,
the slaw.
Yeah, I could see Washington. I could probably swim there if I really wanted to from where I am. And I walk in there today at lunch to get a couple Gatorades. I walk to the back. This dude walks in. He had what is that? The Fight brand tap out.
Yeah. Oh, I haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah, he was bringing it back. Apparently, he had a tap out hat on. He walks in, and I see him grab two mics, like in the corner of my eye. I'm not paying attention. I'm just getting some Gatorades, and he's like, "What's up, bro?" And I just gave him that head nod, like I'm not gonna speak. My voice doesn't work, so I was like, "Yeah, head nod. What's up?" And then I just went straight to the cashier. I'm buying my two Gatorades, and that dude, I saw him holding two mics, and then he like put it in my peripheral. I saw him put on his hoodie, or he put the cans like down the arm sleeves.
Oh, smooth move.
I was like, I don't know if he stole it. I wasn't really paying attention. I didn't really give a fuck. So the cashier, I'm keeping the cashier busy. Like I was an accomplice to this crime. This fool just walks right out. Just walked out of the front doors. The gas station attendant was walking inside. The guy who stole the two Thirsty 5 ounces there, Mike's Hard Lemonade, slapped the gas attendant 5, just like, hey, high five. And then he just walked out, and then he gets to the cashier. He's like, dude, that guy stole some Mike's Hard. He stole some alcohol.
He actually made 10 cents off, or 20 cents off the deal.
He legit made 20 cents. And those Thirsty 5, just make them 25 cents, dude. 25 ounce can? Come on. Those Canadian bottle drop prices? You could turn in like a liquor bottle for like $1. milk jugs.
We still gotta pay. You gotta pay an extra $1.
I have no idea. I'm not Canadian. We'll have when Mo and Sava, dude. You are gonna be.
Oh fuck.
You are gonna be in the motherland's den here soon. We're gonna have a camera set up. Winnie D is finally back in the house
In a new studio.
in a makeshift studio. The next Wednesday when he comes in,
If you guys could see this it's pretty Spartan.
it's gonna be revamped. We're gonna be working on this probably all day tomorrow.
So you bought a box of soundproofing, right?
Yeah, some sound.
And you thought it would go a long way. If you guys could see this is hilarious.
I thought they were a lot.
It's
bigger.
only like 10% of the room.
It is. It's literally one wall, but the panels are gonna go up about 4 feet.
It's gonna be beautiful.
It's gonna be gorgeous, and we're gonna have camera. So guys, stay tuned. We're fucking ready. We're here
YouTube
for
game.
it. I can't wait, dude. I've been stressing. It's so much easier doing it with 2 people. When I was doing like the last 3 episodes solo, holy shit. I was like, I've never spoke out loud to myself like that.
That's so funny.
Rarely at all.
Were you just like, what am I doing?
For the most part,
Were you
yeah,
laughing
dude.
at your own jokes?
No, it's weird. No, not funny. Yeah, in that time, so I haven't seen you what, a month?
It's been about a month, yeah.
Dude.
How were your holidays?
Oh, yeah. So for you guys who don't know, I participate in a Russian Orthodox faith.
It's a very unique faith, I would say.
Yeah, completely. All my family's from Russia. Once the communism began, the Russian Civil War started, all the communists started hunting down.
The intellectuals?
Yeah. The Trumpers in Russia. No, all the people that were not a part of communism, so they had to...
Weren't down with the sickness, so to speak.
They were escaping religious persecution. They ran over to China, and then Russia was like, finally gave China an ultimatum, like, you better give all our citizens back. And then from China, they hopped on. I have a very interesting like story. My great grandpa was CIA. Just read all that. I'm trying to get more knowledge on it. There's a book. We can go check it out. Yeah, so we celebrate Christmas on January 7th. We follow an older religious
like
calendar.
Calendar, yeah.
Yeah. My mom's side of the family is really huge. A lot of aunts and uncles.
Really overweight, is what you're saying, yeah.
600 pounds, everybody.
Big.
Mask passing. There's a bunch of grandkids, too. Do a lot of drinking, white elephant.
White elephant, nice.
Yeah, it was wild. That
is
was
that a Russian tradition?
White elephant?
Yeah, is that where we get it from?
No, it's just we have such a big family. We used to always like draw out of a bucket, like which cousin we're gonna get a gift.
Buy presents for everybody.
Yeah, now everyone's older, so
yeah,
white elephant's more appropriate.
Gotcha.
And we had to do like there was like 3 years in a row where there were so many liquor bottles going around in the white elephant gifts because we split up the guys and the girls. Now it's some uncles are well off, so it's like. Let's get one of the. You want to look for. We look for specific uncles.
You want
gifts,
the sugar uncles?
Yeah. I think that's his gift right there. Dude, it's intense. Like, what did I get this year? This year I got a pretty badass Kershaw knife. You know, little hillbilly Kershaw. And you motherfuckers want to get slashed and dashed? Meet me outside.
Gervais.
Bro.
Did I just dox you?
Dogs. No one knows where Ricky Gervais is.
Yeah, Ricky Gervais.
Speaking of Ricky Gervais, what'd you think? Did you see
that
the
was
Golden
great.
Globes?
I like that a lot.
The fucking balls on that man.
Yeah.
They need to make a Golden Globe in formation of Ricky Gervais's balls. Moles, pubes. I want it all. I want the shaft. Get your award. Thank you, God. Thank you, agents, and fuck off. Dude, it was.
That was beautiful.
Like, I usually watch the Golden Globes because like I'm a huge cinema fan and I want to know who won the best actor and all that. But isn't the Oscars bigger than the Golden Globes?
Oscars are coming up. Yeah, I would say the Oscars are the bigger one.
And they're doing no host.
Is that
Fucking
what the
pussies, dude? They're such pussies.
Is it in response to Gervais sort of?
I think so because wasn't Kevin Hart supposed to host the Oscars and then that whole his whole joke about
that sounds right.
And then I don't know who the host was that took his spot, but yeah, I think this year they're going with no host. And I'm like,
it'll be interesting. I mean, it won't be interesting. I mean, do you ever watch one of those to fruition? Like, do you actually watch the entire? Like, do you have like an Oscar party?
We were watching football, so we just
got
grandfathered in to the Golden Globes. But I think I would have watched it anyways because I wanted to see how the Joker did.
Yeah.
What was that? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah. Wait, that was up for this year?
Brad Pitt got Best Supporting Actor for his role in
Good
Once Upon a
stuff.
Time
That
in
was
Hollywood.
that was a great film.
Dude, okay, I just watched Star Wars,
What'd you think? I watched it too.
the newest one.
Yeah.
I was hating on it without even seeing it, and
Yeah, me
it
too.
wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. I hated the last one.
Me too.
What
It
was
was
the last
so
one? The Last
cheesy.
Hope or something?
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, dude, fuck off. Miss me with that one, cuzzy. Miss me with that
That
one.
one was bullshit. That one was way too Disney, I think. It
It was so childish.
just doesn't make any sense. Then you have like
Insubordinate, childish.
you also have like a bunch of like these like it's almost like they're like they're writing stuff to get like people of color and like different ethnicities and like women and you know
Oh, yeah, they're-
that's interesting. It was way too forceful, it felt like.
Yeah, talent prevails, guys. Like, dude, all this diversity, it's great.
And then Leia, remember when Leia gets sucked out to space and then she's like "Ooh," and then she gets okay, spoilers.
Dude, yeah, okay, guys, yes, there's going to be spoilers if you guys want to skip ahead for a little bit, but most of you guys have
I
probably
assume
seen Star
you guys
Wars
have
by
all
now.
seen it, yeah.
I was very late to the party.
It's so cheesy.
Hey,
though.
how about I thought that Ray was going to be just sucking off Poe all fucking movie. I
It
thought,
seems like it,
and
right?
John Boyega, what was his character's name?
Which one's John
The
Boyette?
black dude.
Oh, he's like he's what's that Asian girl's
Flynn.
name?
That's his name.
Yeah, Flynn.
But
And
Flynn likes Ray. The Asian girl Rose likes Flynn, but Flynn friend zoned her, and Ray friend zoned Flynn, and Poe is just trying to get his dick wet. And then here comes
it's all gonna be friend zone. It's un-Disney of them to go ahead and get like
Suxil, baby.
they're gonna keep it PG. They're not gonna get it. They're not gonna
just go
"Oh,
R,
yeah,
dude."
PG."
You know, just
get X,
like
get some penetration.
what's
in there.
the bad guy's name?
Kylo Ren.
Kylo Ren. See, it never fails. The bad guy prevails. The bad boys, girls want the bad boys. Look, Poe, or his name's Poe, right?
Yeah.
Good dude, badass. The guy that you would think that Ray's would go for. Flynn, friend zoned. Which, I mean, Ray, you don't want a piece of that? You don't want
She's
a
way
piece-
too focused on her
I think
art.
he's just way too big for her. It's either or. And then Kylo Ren comes in. Oh, I'm not bad anymore. And fucking Palpatine.
Well, they're like cousins, aren't they? Ray and Kylo. I think they're like cousins. They're like weird.
They made
there's, like, a
out, didn't
weird- Did they?
Pretty sure they made out. But that's all over Brazzers. I think that they're just paying homage to Pornhub. That's all. That's all that
I
was.
thought they were like, okay, they did make out right at the end of the movie.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. He went all good guy on her. He's playing good cop.
Maybe it was just like a kissing cousin kind of thing.
Kissing cousins, yeah. You know,
Disney's
from
all right with that.
Tatooine. That's what they do over there on that planet. Dude.
Little bum
Nebula,
fuck.
isn't that a planet? Okay, so that's the Star Wars. It was good. I appreciate it.
What movie I'm really excited to see is 1917.
I want to see it so bad. Dude, me and Baby Scroll went to the movies. She said it was her turn to pick out what we're watching.
Mhm.
Watched Jumanji 2. Total flop. Like Jumanji 1 was good. Jumanji 2, they had
It's The Rock.
who's the short dude?
Kevin Hart.
Danny DeVito.
Oh, Danny's in it.
Danny DeVito's in it, and old ass fuck Donald Glover. Like,
Holy
and they
shit.
were in like
I'm
the
getting
whole
too old
first
for this
half of the
shit.
movie. Have you seen the first Jumanji?
The new ones?
new
No.
one. Okay, yeah, you can see that one.
I'm all about
Jumanji
the
2.
Robin Williams
Yeah,
one.
probably won't see it. Yeah, that's the original. That's the only
That's
way that
the
you want to
OG.
keep it.
Yeah.
Another movie really good that I saw, Knives Out.
I did see Knives
Oh,
Out.
dude, one of my favorite movies.
Yeah? Is that a roadie Oscar pick?
Oh, no,
Roadhouse?
It's
No?
not good. It's not good. No, like I thoroughly enjoyed it. It took me a while to get used to Daniel Craig's fucking
Southern drawl.
Kentucky draw accent straight out of KFC.
I thought he did a decent job with it.
Just from seeing him in James Bond too much, I'm like, what's this
Yeah.
hillbilly fuck right here, dude? I liked it though, man. I felt like it was just Clue, like the board game.
That's definitely what I was getting.
And Chris Evans, I think Chris Evans played a phenomenal role in
Yep,
it.
yep.
I only know him from Captain America. I don't really know what else he's been in.
Skinny ass Chris. Yeah, Knives Out was great. I like Knives Out. This is probably like the most movies I've seen in a 6-month period in
It's
my
like
life.
the least amount of movies I've seen, I feel like.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen The Irishman?
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was really good. I'm a huge fan of those movies. Martin Scorsese. I'll always watch a Martin Scorsese film.
It's kind of his magnum opus, this one.
Not a fan of the CGI. You can miss me with that one.
Yep. Everyone's sort of been hit or miss with that one.
Dude, the scene of him beating up the store clerk and he's like stomping him outside. He looks like a 80-year-old man.
Yeah, he definitely walks around.
Like,
He's got that like...
I'll slap you, silly Robert. Dude, if you come in my store with that energy and you attack me, I'm dropping your
and
80
you're
man
supposed
ass.
to be 40.
Dude.
Yeah.
Dude, the movements. Why not just get someone to act as a younger?
That's a good point. I don't know how the technology works, but
overall, I thought it was a great movie,
Yeah,
especially
me
for
too.
Netflix. Usually, when you see like one of the Netflix movies that they actually directed and produced, you're like, because some of them have kind of lower budgets. But when you see like these better actors, like what's the Six Underground, the Ryan Reynolds.
I've heard stuff about that too. I haven't seen that one.
That one's pretty good. I didn't really expect much from that one, but that one turned out I enjoyed it. Back to Ricky Gervais, dude. That opening monologue.
Mhm.
Did you see like Tom Hanks' face? The video, Tom Hanks was like,
Yeah.
oh my. He was playing real life Forrest Gump right there. He was looking at him in disbelief.
Yeah, well, that's why it's such a great speech by Ricky, I think.
And then he had the Epstein reference, and I was like, oh, dude, because the news flow, and dude, let me tell you, I'm going to write a blog here of just about my whole thoughts on this whole impeachment. And
Okay. Have you been following it closely?
yeah, dude, I watched the first day, and then I watched today, like half of it. Not watched it, but I was listening to it while I was working.
Yeah.
I'm off fucking politics, dude. I've never cared about politics at all, but I've always I've known kind of what was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Like these last 3 years after just seeing all this, it's so immature. Like people are not having their they're not thinking for themselves. I feel like and just whatever news station, this is for both sides. I don't care what side you're on. You watch both sides, everyone just panders or hits their focus points, their talking points, hits them hard. And I could see a lot of people drinking Kool-Aid from both sides. And Joe Rogan, I just saw Joe Rogan was trending today on Twitter.
Yeah.
He had some chick, her name was Barry Weiss on his podcast. And she asked him in the podcast who he's going to endorse for the Democratic primary.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, probably Bernie Sanders for the Democratic primary. All over Twitter, it was like Joe Rogan announces endorsement for Bernie Sanders as presidential candidate. I'm like, well, one, that if you listen to it, but then you see Bernie Sanders supporters oh, Joe Rogan's a bigot. Joe Rogan's he's not for the cause. Dude, how do you expect to get voters to come? How do you expect people who don't vote to come to your side? If that's your candidate, you should be welcoming. You should be welcoming voters. Like I said, whoever your candidate is, if you're going to act vicious to differing opinions,
Totally.
how the fuck are you ever going to get one of your candidates to get pushed through?
It's the populace. I think if we're trying to, if the goal is to get a new president in the White House, I think we need to choose a populist candidate, somebody who's going to be able to get all those voters together, as opposed to somebody as Bernie Sanders, right? You're talking about basically just people who are way too down to burn.
Bernie Sanders has been
burn other people who are trying to get on the bandwagon.
If that's your guy, I don't give a fuck about Bernie. But if that's your guy, you should want people welcome them, come
and
here,
then
Brent
educate
said,
them. And
Joe Rogan endorses Bernie Sanders. He's a bigot. You're like, what are you guys? Whether you like Joe Rogan or not, that's one of the big endorsements you can get. He is one of the most open platforms for anyone to come in and give their points, whether he agrees with them or disagrees with them.
Yeah.
You could put it to the likes of Oprah, Ellen, maybe bigger. He is the biggest podcaster. I would tell you that podcasting is the most natural form to get your point across. You're going to get, I don't know, he's had a couple politicians on and they always seem to always have a specific time limit, and then they get out of there. Like most Joe Rogan podcasts are like 3 hours long, 3 hours, and it feels like every time he has, like Bernie was on for like maybe like hour 15 minutes. Seemed like a good conversation.
I wonder what would happen if he got Trump on. That would be really interesting.
Oh, dude, he has to one of these days. I don't think it'll ever be within, because he's gonna get reelected. Dude, if you like this, what, guys?
Yeah,
You're doing it to yourselves, man.
I miss when politics was a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe I'm sounding like a grandpa here, but like when politics was a little bit more
Respectable.
regal. Yeah, or like an office such as the presidency was taken with a little bit more class.
Yeah.
This is just like it's a circus every day.
We opened the fucking doors. Like I said, I'm so off on this impeachment. Like I've always had this thought process after watching like House of Cards. I was like, that's real. That's how it goes. And I went balls deep. All this Kevin Spacey shit that was coming out. Remember before Christmas, he had that kill him with kindness. I think that Kevin Spacey permanently is stuck in Frank Underwood, and Frank Underwood is Bill Clinton. That's a hot take.
So after the allegations came out, I always thought, you remember Horrible Bosses?
Yeah.
That movie?
Yeah.
I just feel
one
like
or
that's
two.
One.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Maybe because he was in two too.
Spacey?
Yeah. He was in two.
Was he in two?
I think he was. They had to like ask him how to do the crime.
I'm only gonna play as Frank Underwood. I can't even do his voice.
That character that he played, I would say that seems like
He's a hell of an actor. Kevin
seems
Spacey,
like the real guy, though.
Dude, Kevin Spacey, a hell of an actor, hell of a murderer.
Let's hope he's acting.
Dude, Epstein, we haven't got to talk about Epstein. Epstein's just been flying solo. The tape got destroyed from his first suicide attempt. When he died, the tape got lost somehow. The guards fell asleep. There's no how in a world of security, in the world that the NSA has all of our shit on lock.
How does it happen?
How does this happen? Like, that's too coincidental.
Fuck, dude, Bigfoot.
It's Bigfoot. Missing 4 and 1. They have the tapes.
They have the tape. Bigfoot's got the tapes.
Yeah, but man, what's been up with you in the last month? Anything new?
Yeah. Lots of stuff. Let's see. Where do I start? Went to the coast.
Do some gambling?
No, we went to like a little small town called Netarts.
How do you feel about going to Vegas? A little off note in like April for the NFL draft. I wanted to try to
I could swing that.
talk to some players.
Yeah.
Make some content.
That would be amazing.
Another guy would be going with this.
For sure. Flights are cheap, I think, right?
Always
cheap. They're like
we're just trying to find hotels right now. This hotel is going to be like NFL draft. It's going to be swamped over there with a bunch of gulags. I don't even know what that word is, but
gulags.
Okay, back. Sorry to interrupt you. Back to what you were saying.
What was it talking about? NSA, Bigfoot, eating the...
What you were doing. You went to the coast.
Yeah. Coast. Went crabbing for the first time.
Yeah, dude. How was that crab?
That was really good crab. Dungeness and rock crab.
What were you guys using for bait?
I think it's like, was it monkfish or maybe cod? I think it's cod.
Dude, right? I haven't been crabbing in so long.
I actually
we just used raw chicken breast.
I have frozen crab for you, but then
you ate it.
No, I was thinking about driving it here for like 40 minutes.
Winfield Jackson II ate it.
Yeah, I have a kid now. No, just the idea of driving with a crab for 40 minutes didn't sound that appealing, and I don't know what you would think because you're a connoisseur of crabs. You're a crab master.
I haven't really had a problem with crabs ever since I got this new trimmer. It became a problem. I had to get this new trimmers because most men don't like to admit I was using my ball trimmer on my face.
Oh,
once upon a time.
Is this a sponsorship deal right here?
No, we're working on it. Yeah, so we're all beardly men. And then once I saw these little crabs crawling around my beard, I was like, ooh, time to...
Wait, you're fucking. You're fucking with me.
Yeah, bro, imagine you got some larvas and some little crab eggs in your beard. Is that dandruff? No, bitch, it's lice.
It's moving.
it's moving. You have a centipede like crawling in. Oh my gosh. Are centipedes the creepiest bug out there?
What is the creepiest bug? Good question. It depends. I think it's every person has their own creepy. I'm not really turned off by bugs. Are you? Are you afraid?
No, bugs. I don't really give a shit. I don't like spiders. I'll smash a spider every time I see one.
Really?
Yeah, you can call PETA. You can call your dad. You can tell my mom. I don't care. Spiders don't get no life from me.
Spiders. Okay, spiders are yours. I don't really have one. I would say that just like maybe like a black widow. I've seen a black widow a couple times, and I was like,
Dude, in Arizona, I saw a black widow and a scorpion in the same night. I'm like, what is this, Australia? Get me out of here.
my thing is snakes, dude. Snakes. That'll elicit like a fight or flight for me.
There's some ponds over here called the St. Louis ponds, and they'll stock it with fish every now and then. I don't really like going fishing there because the water's so dirty. There's so much shit in the water, as in like not algae, but like weeds and stuff. So after every cast, you're pulling out like your bait's gone, and you have a pound or 3 pounds of freaking grass on.
Yeah,
and this place is like a gardener snake haven, dude. You're just walking through this tall grass, and they just popping up out of nowhere, dude. One day, this was like 2 summers ago. We were there for 2 hours, saw like 20 snakes. And I'm like, I'm out. I'm out. I had a fishing pole in one hand, machete in the other.
Machete.
Dude. Machete. What's that fool's name?
Danny Trejo.
Danny Trejo. I haven't seen him in any movies lately.
I think he's going to be in one coming up. I forget the name of it. He's still out there, dude. He's like, what is he? Like 70 now? Still
Dude,
trying
he's
to
old as
play
fuck.
the badass.
And then, in all the Machete movies, he always had a smoke show babe that he would make out with.
Guy looked like he took the impact of a grenade straight to the face.
He looked like he was in like a Humvee that went over a road mine and survived.
Walked away.
Okay, so you know how when we took out Soleimani,
yeah,
and then everyone was like, "Oh my God, World War III, we're gonna
Scary
get
times.
drafted." How would you feel about getting drafted?
Let's see. Well, you don't have any choice. That's the whole thing about the draft. And they haven't done that since Vietnam. You know, fuck.
Dude,
That's scary.
I don't think that we would have needed a draft. I think Texas, that state alone could like take out the Middle East and be
happy about it
yeah.
too.
Dude,
Right?
they would love it. Did you see in Virginia they did like they're trying to put out some new gun laws, and they had like so many militias out in a protest for their Second Amendment. I'm like, Virginia's ready to go, dude. Like
the second Virginia. What was I going to say about gun? Oh,
I'm all in. If I get drafted, I'm all in.
So do you know why they actually did it? Like why they actually nuked, or not nuked him, but took him out?
Took him. So Soleimani was like their number one, right?
He's like their lead of
He's like
leader
their
of
LeBron.
Sure.
We're the Warriors.
He's like covert affairs. So what he was doing is he was actually inciting and supplying weapons and provisions to the protesters in quotation marks, that were bearing down on the embassy in Baghdad. So it could have been a Iran thing again, where the Iranian embassy, or where the American embassy in Iran, Tehran, was taken over by a similar sort of thing. So he has a long history of these covert shadow operations where Iran has its sort of, its teeth in it, but it's not necessarily Iran. So it's like these like shadow affairs.
Yeah.
So
they're little proxy armies
exactly
here and there.
Yeah. So like if you think of death squads being led by, American generals in South America, that's kind of that's like the Middle Eastern equivalent. So I think I don't know all the facts, but the fact is without that action and that opportunity, we might be looking at a stormed embassy and hostages in Iran.
13 minutes.
Yeah.
we had squads up, wheels up at that embassy in 13 minutes.
So
throwing shade at Benghazi. That's
Who knows?
that
It
was-
actually might have prevented World War III. World War III.
Dude, there's not going to be a draft. No one,
There wouldn't be a draft, but
yeah, our army is so superior to everybody. Like,
The
hey,
Iranian,
don't be scared, man. If you want to like legitimately come, and let's say like another 9/11 happened, you that's not just poking the bear. You like kick the bear in the nuts. We are the bear. Eisenberg, I am the danger. I am the one that knocks. That's what we're, and I'm not saying that like the U.S. military, like we've done some nefarious,
yeah,
we've had some nefarious activity of our own.
for sure.
At the end of the day, guys,
But Iran is too. They've been fucking around too.
they've been Iran, Iraq, the Middle East has been fighting with each other since like the beginning of time. The,
Yeah,
the
since zero.
Shias and
Yeah,
the
even
Sunnis,
before, yeah.
like those are the holy lands.
so complicated.
Yeah.
yeah. So
I will tell you, my vote, like Oregon is always going to be a Democratic state regardless.
blue.
Yeah, regardless. If Trump like literally wanted to secure a 100% victory, pull out of the Middle East by the people. And who wants to be in constant conflict in the Middle East? I don't know any of that.
It's just
I just watched.
complicated.
Dude, I just watched the movie Midway. Have you heard about that movie?
No.
It's about so the Battle of Midway during Pearl Harbor
Oh, yeah.
times.
Pearl Harbor did.
Yeah, it happened like with
You mean World War
days.
II?
Yeah, right after Pearl Harbor. And I'm watching this, and it was a lot about the Navy. The Battle of Midway was a naval battle
Mhm.
with our pilots, the Air Force
I know
pilots.
all about battle.
Dude, like I love all that shit. I'm a history nut.
Yeah.
The good and bad, like just the madness of all the history back then. When you think about
fucking
the
crazy.
Command and Conquer, that's on everyone's list. Everyone wants to take control, and
Yeah.
watching Midway, I'm like, dude, these guys in here, these are some hard fucking men, dude.
Talking about the pilots and
Just
stuff.
the pilots, like, the U.S. planes at that time were not as sophisticated as the Japanese
no, we had
aircrafts.
really crappy
They
airplanes.
were ghetto as fuck, but our Navy, our ships were like, our ships, our carriers, those were the big boys.
Mhm.
And then the Battle of Midway, just so crazy. I can't imagine, like, dude, you're driving a Geo Metro in the air. That's what that thing is. And
What were they flying? Was it Dauntless dive bombers potentially? But I know after that Battle of Midway, we were able to get a lot of
that
Better.
was like the pivotal moment in the Pacific.
yeah. There was a bunch of carrier aircrafts that we fielded after that. That definitely turned.
That would be so badass, dude.
What, just like live in that time or
No, like just being a badass pilot. Like,
Scary shit, dude.
It's
People-
so scary. Like I was just
a
thinking,
lot of pilots.
like I was super ripped when I was watching it, so I was like I'm like, this shit is intense, dude.
yeah.
I can't even begin to fathom like the adrenaline, and you just dropped a bomb on this air carrier. You dropped from 4,000 elevation down to 1,500 elevation, and then after you drop the bomb, you got to pull up hard. When you're driving and you're at the top of a hill, and then you bomb down the hill, and your asshole comes out of your mouth. Imagine doing that. You're dropping from 4,000 elevation at Mach
Yeah.
speed or whatever speed that they're going. Those planes didn't go Mach speed,
No.
but still the elevation drop that they were doing.
The G-force.
Oh my goodness, dude. It's going to look like the day after your bachelor party inside that cockpit. There's going to be Four Loko and Twisted Tea all over the windows. Hey, wingman, can you hear me? I need you to come squeegee my windshield. That shit's crazy, man.
It's even crazier is that a lot of those guys were volunteers.
So young.
yeah. Well, yeah, young too. But I think that helps in a way.
You could just manipulate the mind.
You're ignorant. Yeah, you're ignorant, I think, of a lot of stuff.
And with manipulating the mind, I think that takes us into our conspiracy corner.
Conspiracy Corner.
All right, guys.
Whoa.
A conspiracy corner for you right now, and then word of the week.
Word of the week.
And then we're going to shut this Roadhouse party down because we're going to go do some real partying, some good Russian partying, some cake
Russian,
stands.
Old.
We're going to do it all. Winnie
fake.
D's might get his nuts licked. Hopefully, we're looking for the best. On today's Conspiracy Corner, the topic is the Montauk Project.
Montauk.
So, the Montauk Project has just many layers to it. And you can't really tell the Montauk story without telling the Philadelphia experiment. So a lot of this,
which is pretty crazy in itself,
my
too.
God, I don't know what to think about that. We know that MK Ultra was a real thing.
But that's more believable.
MK Ultra, yeah. It's because I think that Nikola Tesla might have been the smartest man alive. That's my own opinion. I think that Nikola Tesla is grossly underrated in the scientists.
You think it's a Russian
no,
maybe bias you have?
We know that America, we had a fancy draft of Nazi scientists after we smoked the Germans.
Operation Paperclip.
Yeah. Bring in the smartest guys.
Trying to, at least.
I'm not going to tell you that they weren't smart because they were ahead of us on a lot of different projects. And like the Philadelphia experiment, it all started because the Americans, we thought that the Germans were also working on this sort of technology. So, it's a rat race. Yeah. And so the Montauk Project, it's a conspiracy theory that alleges of secret U.S. government projects done at Camp Hero, also known as Montauk Air Force Station in New York. The purpose was to develop physiological warfare techniques and extensive research, including time travel. And here we are back with the time travelers.
Did you just read the verbatim? Did you write down the Wikipedia?
No, I did hella notes, dude. I went through like 3 different sites. I was into it. I was balls deep, dude. I really.
We put in hard work for you guys, you listeners.
And I think that's what I want to do with conspiracy theory. And like conspiracy theories won't always be conspiracies. Like I would love to do a highlight on like George Washington or
a little bit more history.
Like, yeah, dude. Like I said, I'm a history nut, dude.
Yeah,
all this shit. I got in a little Twitter beef with some Native American chick on Twitter. And she was trying to blame the white man for coming and completely just wrecking the infrastructure of the Native Americans. And I'm like, she said that we created genocide on the natives. And I'm not saying that the Americans didn't because we did terrible things. It wasn't all peaceful with the natives, like the Comanches.
Oh, no, they're warring nations.
Oh, the Comanches ruled the plains, Bubba.
Yeah, and the Apaches and the Blackfeet.
Dude, the Comanches went full Avatar. When they had to link their hair to those dragons that they had to ride. That's what they did with horses. Once they got horses on the plains.
Wow.
The Comanches, they created genocide on other native tribes. They completely wiped out tribes, abducted women.
Let's just say the slave trade was alive and well before the white man got to...
Everybody was a slave once upon a time. Everyone's ancestors, I'm sure you can track down unless you're the Rothschilds or something.
And that's not taking anything away from...
The atrocities that we created. Yeah, exactly. Y'all seen Apocalypto, man. Like that goes way deep, but
wow, that is a deep reference. I need to rewatch that.
Have you watched? It's so
I've
good.
seen it.
It's so good. Yeah. I want to go to Mexico and I want to go check out. So my wife, like, I don't really care about like hanging out at the resort and party. I want to go see like the Mayan temples. I really want to take a trip to Egypt. Did you? Okay. I know we're going off topic on this conspiracy theory a little bit, but did you see that they say it was a 9,000-year-old mummy that they formed his vocals and they...
Oh, I didn't read the article. I saw that though.
The vocal just sounded like a computer. It was like, it sounded like a...
Oh, wow.
It sounded like that one Amanda that you banged and she was just a dead fish. She never moaned and it was like,
Oh, yes.
So I'm like, that doesn't sound like a pharaoh or a high priest.
Brother.
What are you guys doing digging out? Have you guys ever seen the mummy? Like those guys come back to life. Come on, check yourself.
Yeah, that's science already.
Man, hey, science is crazy.
Science is crazy.
The Philadelphia experiment.
Backtrack. This is an experiment preceding the Montauk Project.
The timelines jump around from like the 40s to the 80s. That was the time travel. It was like a 20-year discrepancy. If that word works out. So the Philly, that's what I'm calling it. The Philly experiment took place in 1943. The U.S. Navy teleported a Navy destroyer escort, the USS Eldridge, from Philly to Norfolk, Norfolk, Virginia. New Jersey, or Virginia.
That's where Norfolk is.
Okay, Virginia. Yeah, that is correct. So the Philadelphia experiment is said to have made the USS Eldridge invisible to the naked eye. They were working on a project that could hide the ship to radar in the process on a separate experiment. A lot of these projects or governmental experiments, they have experiments within the same experiment or a project within the experiment that they have a different name for it.
Yeah.
So like Project Rainbow is essentially the same thing as the Philadelphia experiment.
It's under the same program.
So some of the seamen, Navy soldiers,
right.
They were on the SS Andrew Firth, and they witnessed the ship spontaneously appear in the water in Norfolk on October 28th. The Navy was working on cloaking ships because they thought the Germans were working on it as well, like we said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the Nazis.
Who knows?
The Nazis were fucking. If I'm going to give any credit ever to the Nazis, they had a fucking team of some brilliant scientists.
Sure did.
And that's why Project Paperclip, that's why we had our fantasy draft of Nazi scientists.
With the Soviets, yeah.
Yeah, with the Soviets.
Damn Russians.
Yeah, we had to split up. Good thing we got Von Braun and...
We got Mr. Rocket.
The USS Eldridge reportedly became invisible before it teleported. This was said to be two different functions. So they were trying to cloak it from the radar, but then they managed to cloak it and invisible to the naked eye. Imagine witnessing that. You'd be like, especially at the time, like there's no smartphones or anything back then. You're like, what? That's insane to me. I don't know what to take from it. From when I was reading it, I was like, you really made this ship go invisible?
From what I understand, it was due to like a high amount of energy, right? That they pulsed through the ship, or I'm probably gonna jumble. You probably
Tesla
know
coils, generators off other ships,
and there were still people on board, right? When they did this.
Oh yeah, and we'll get to what happens to some of those people.
Yeah.
Once the USS Eldridge got to Norfolk, it was clear something wasn't right. Some of the seamen disappeared during the trip. Others went mentally insane, and some kept becoming invisible, like kind of glitching. They'd go invisible and then flicker back to normal. It's like a glitch in the Matrix. And I just watched The Matrix. Also, that's another movie I just watched. Second time ever watching it.
Really?
Yeah, as I'm older now. Hey, great
Film buff.
movie. Great movie. When I was younger, I was like, oh, this is fucking stupid, dude. As I'm older, I'm like, holy shit. That's the simulation right there is The Matrix.
Simulation theory for sure.
Some of the crew, this is the really fucked up part about the Philadelphia experience. So some of the crew that was on the ship that when it became invisible and time traveled, they were fused into the ship, like into the wall, half their bodies in it, sticking outside the wall, and half their bodies inside the wall, and they're dead. They died because who the fuck is fused into a ship?
It's insane.
There was talk that Nikola Tesla was working on the Montauk project after he supposedly faked his death. But this project was run by John von Neumann.
Von Neumann?
Yeah, not American. He was a pioneer of the theory of quantum mechanics. He was also the lead man of the U.S. Manhattan Project, a.k.a. the atomic bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And we dropped that sucker down on some heads. Von Neumann dealt with the technical aspects of the Philadelphia experiment. So it began on a large number of people headed to Brookhaven National Labs in Long Island. This was known as the Phoenix Project. So like a bunch of scientists, bunch of crew members, everyone's going over to Long Island. The Institute of Advanced Studies was established in 1933 at Princeton University. This is where you could find Albert Einstein and John von Neumann. You have Albert Einstein, one of the most brilliant minds America has ever seen, working alongside the death machine von Neumann. Dude, the A-bomb. Hey, that's
Angel of Death.
That's the Angel of Death, dude. I want to name a bomb. How do we sponsor to name a bomb? That's aggressive.
Do like a
Winnie D's
petition.org, I think, probably.
Hey guys, we need 30,000 signatures to get to be allowed
and
to
then
name
Obama will address it, and we'll get the next nuke named after us.
Biggest hype man the United States has ever seen.
I miss that guy.
The Institute of Advanced Studies is where the Invisibility Project was transferred to. In 1936, the project expanded and Nikola Tesla was named the group's director. Nikola Tesla, I think he is more prestigious than Albert Einstein. But when you have Einstein, von Neumann, and Tesla all working on this project. That's some aliens. That's like 3 Elons.
So wait, how did Nikola Tesla come to be in this time period? He wasn't around.
By
then.
supposedly faking his death.
Okay. This is a
Dude,
okay.
Hey, I didn't make this up, bro. This is my research.
Okay. This is your research.
With Tesla's genius, and like I said, I think Tesla was the smartest man in the world. To this day, I don't know who comes close to Tesla. He managed to get invisible before the end of the year. Research
Nikola Tesla did?
Yeah. He's a genius, bro.
Himself.
Yeah, himself.
Okay, so he
told
was
von Neumann what to do. Told
Personal.
Albert, get your old geriatric ass.
he like to sneak up on people and just be like, boo!
They're like
Like,
shocked.
oh my God.
He's just an electric current that walks around. Research continued until 1940 when a full test was conducted at the Brooklyn Navy Yard. It was a small test without anyone on board of the ship that they were testing. The ship received power from the generators that were on other ships connected by cables. At that time, another scientist by the name of Townsend Brown, who was known for his practical ability to apply theoretical physics, was added to the research team. He knew all about gravity and magnetic mines. And this dude, he invented a device that could trigger mines from 30 yards out.
Okay.
So I can't remember what that invention was called, but that was part of my research.
Interesting.
In the 1930s, a massive migration of scientists took place in America. This is when we were smuggling in the Nazi scientists, and they're 20 miles away from Montauk, there was a submarine base.
Okay.
So who's to say that we weren't smuggling anyone in via submarine underwater? Who the hell is underwater to sea? Nobody.
I just
Many
read a book
Jewish-
actually about the U-boat commander, or like it's like a personal diary from one of the U-boat telegraphists. One of the last missions he had was to transport one of these scientists all the way to Tokyo, and then the war ended as they were going on their way to Tokyo. This scientist had all these microfilms that he was going to give to the Japanese, basically giving them the power to develop a rocket that would go across the Atlantic Ocean.
Selling secrets.
So yeah, there's some secrets there.
Many Jewish and Nazi scholars were smuggled into America, possibly by submarine base that was in Connecticut, 20
Makes
miles
sense.
away.
That's how the Germans did it.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine that we wouldn't be
back
far
in
behind.
back in those days, I feel like a lot of this shit would be easier to accomplish without having spectators.
Mm-hmm.
This idea was influenced by Duncan Cameron Sr. His connections to espionage circles remains a mystery to this day. By 1941, Tesla had unlimited funds from the U.S. government for research and
Supposed
experimentation.
Tesla. Invisible Tesla.
Invisible Tesla.
Okay.
Dead man Tesla. He asked for a warship, and on the deck, he placed several special coils, along with the famous Tesla coils, were also installed onto the ship. Tesla knew the mental state and physical bodies of the crew members would be severely affected during this experiment. Von Neumann did not share his ideas of time because he said that he had been contacted by intelligence from another planet through messages sent in form of specific signals when Mars was at a relatively closer distance from the Earth to the Earth than it is now.
Okay.
This happened in 1926 when they built a radio tower in the New York laboratory building.
Mm-hmm.
A secret group with huge financial resources and its ties to the military built a new research camp at Camp Hero, an abandoned U.S. Air Force station in Montauk, New York. The Montauk Project. They chose this Camp Hero because they already had, and if you go to the Instagram where I have a picture posted of this, of the radio tower.
It's still there, isn't it?
Yeah, still there. It had a huge radar antenna that put out frequencies of 400 to 425 megahertz. A frequency that coincided with that was used to interact with the human mind from an earlier phase of the research that they had conducted of brain frequencies. I don't know.
Do you remember eye dozers? Remember that?
Eye dozers?
Yeah.
No.
Neural beats is what I think it's called.
Sounds like a lobotomy.
So you like basically you put on your headphones and you listen to these like wow wow these waves, and they're supposed to sync up your brain waves with that wave, and then you can replicate like drugs. certain drugs.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that has anything that's
It's all that
related.
peyote, dude. DMT.
You could take some peyote, if I remember correctly, if you like download the right file off of online. iDosers, if you guys don't want to pay for drugs,
iDozer.
get an iDoser.
Make sure you use DuckDuckGo, private browsing.
Yeah.
At the end of the 1960s, Camp Heroes reactivation was done without military funds. Until 1972, the Montauk Project was prepared to begin a massive research into the mental control of humans, animals, and other life forms on Earth. Aliens. Montauk researchers worked on improving mental control techniques and exploring human potential. By developing physical capabilities in the staff, it came to be that a person's thoughts could be amplified with the help of devices that could create mental illusions that could be manifested subjectively and objectively.
You want to break that one down?
Yeah, that's so being able to essentially, like, if you imagine something, you can make it come to life.
Okay.
That's and like telekinesis, all of that sorts.
Sounds like The Secret. You ever seen that book?
Is that the Oprah book?
Yeah. I think it
I've
is.
heard
Like,
that.
if you envision it, it will happen.
Yeah.
The universe is all about magnetism.
Hey, I follow that aspect to a certain point of
No, I agree.
anything that's not physical. Like, you'll never become LeBron James. No matter how hard you try, you'll never be LeBron.
You can wish it all.
You'll
you
never
want.
beat Lance Armstrong in a bike race. So that one's out
I
the
don't know.
door.
Give him some time
Oh,
to
man.
age, and then you challenge him.
Lance, you 80-year-old fuck. Dude. This included the virtual creation of matter. And if you guys don't know what matter is, go back to like 7th grade science. I don't know what to tell you. That's like where it's introduced to you. All this was completely new to the in quotes, ordinary human experience. With the discovery that human beings could create matter through mere thought, what could happen if the human subject created a book, not in the present, but in the past?
This breaks
So
the
mind
law
fuck, yeah.
of physics, where you can't.
It breaks all the laws. That's why this is the most, it's wild. This is where the idea of distorting time appeared. After years of research, air quotes, time gates, like Stargate, have you seen the show?
Yeah.
Essentially, those were
SG-1.
created, yeah. The Montauk Project reopened a temporal vortex back in 1943 when the Philadelphia experiment was complete. Conspiracy theories about the Montauk Project have been going on since the 1980s. According to Jacques Vailly, an astrophysicist and UFO researchers,
Jacques.
Montauk experiment stories began with the story of Preston Nichols. Nichols claimed to have recovered suppressed memories of his own involvement in Montauk. And he is said to believe, like Men in Black, that little pen that makes you forget your memory, he has said that was a real thing, essentially, but his memories were coming back to him. Whether he was on the LSD, I don't know. The Philly experiment is directly correlated with the Montauk Project. Researchers who survived the experiment met between 1952 and 1953 to develop the electromagnetic shield used to make the USS Eldridge disappear both on radar and in reality. Initial proposals to Congress were rejected for funding on this project
Proposals, okay. Yeah.
because it involved dangers that were like far too great for them to imagine. I mean, yeah, obviously. But these rule breakers passed Congress and went to the Department of Defense, maybe the military complex, and assured the development of a weapon capable of triggering instantaneous psychotic symptoms. Conspiracy has it that the funding of the Montauk Project came from Nazi gold captured by American soldiers at the Swiss border. And if you guys haven't listened to our earlier episode, we
About
did a
Nazi
thing on
gold.
Nazi gold. Nazi gold funded a lot of Black Ops projects, I guess you could call them. So on August 12th, 1983 at Montauk, scientists worked on developing a time-traveling bridge that would take them to the original project in 1943. This was called Project Rainbow. All these projects have other projects within the project, if that makes sense. We said that at the beginning of this.
Yeah.
The USS Eldridge was transported through time, and two men, Al Bullock and Duncan Cameron, said they jumped off the ship while it was in hyperspace and arrived in Camp Hero in 1983. They swam to shore, so they jumped off. Like, you time traveling, you jump off the boat, like, you don't even know what's going to happen. The two men claimed to have met John von Neumann when they met. So jumped from like 1943 to 1983. And they claimed to have known John von Neumann, who died in 1957. The United States denies that John Newman worked on the Philadelphia experiment. Do we really believe what the government always has to say? These are some of the claims that were made by the two survivors. A time portal was created that allowed scientists to travel anytime, anywhere. A tunnel of time was built and used to explore Mars and to visit the Martians who lived there 1 billion years ago. Montauk military base remained in operation until the late 1980s. Since 2002 has been open to the public under the name of Camp Hero State Park. And the Montauk Project is related to Stranger Things and the Montauk Monster, how number 11 summoned that monster out of the portal. They say that happened and it just wrecked all the equipment, all the scientists, took out all the witnesses. How convenient. And then Montauk was also, there's a lot of abductions that went on that time, and they called it the Montauk Boys. And these were some of the boys who Duncan stated earlier in this conspiracy corner. He was said to have been one of the Montauk Boys that got abducted and experimented on. And this is a wild one. That's the Montauk Project.
To unpack.
Yeah. So, I mean, take what you want from what we tell you. Most of my reference came from the matrixdisclosure.com, and they had multiple sources from many other sites that were all incorporated into this long research project. So talk to them. Talk to them. But if you guys have any more information on the Montauk Project, we'd love to hear it. Send emails to roadhousemedia.com for all.
If you were abducted.
Yeah, if you're abducted, you got probed in the ass or something.
If you're from 1943.
Yeah, from Tatooine.
And you found yourself here in 2019.
And that's today's Roadhouse Conspiracy Corner.
Conspiracy Corner!
What a corner. That was pretty good. Well researched.
All right, let's get to Word of the Week.
Word of the Week. All right, this one's a little bit directed towards a certain population of people living in these United States. That's a little hint. But the word is soaking.
Soaking.
Ooh, I like this.
So soaking. What do you think that means, Brody?
I think soaking, you just, your dick's a super soaker, and you give it a couple pumps, 1, 2 for most of you, 2 pump chumps out there. You just soak him or her to the gills.
So it's outside.
It's outside.
Okay, it's outside. Close. It involves a penis for sure, but it is a Mormon art form, and it's accepted by the
Some
Mormon.
Jack Mormon activity right here.
Who's Jack Mormon?
Jack Mormon are like the bad boys.
Oh, the bad.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My dad had a couple of Jack Mormons back. I grew up around tons of Mormons. They're all the nicest people that I've.
Oh yeah.
Like they're all so nice.
Great,
And
productive people.
Winnie and I have talked about Mormons all the times. They are goobers. Like frick, son of a beastie.
Aw, super soaker.
Oh, psych. Like, they're goopers. I love them. But the Jack Mormons, they just like to bend the rules a little bit.
Little bit, yeah. Utah's finest. So soaking in Mormon circles means to insert your penis into another Mormon's vagina and leave it there
Until they get married?
until they get married.
Sounds about right.
No. It's like it's a workaround for having sex in the Mormon church. You can't thrust in the Mormon church. So
you just go from hard to
you
flaccid.
put it in. You're like, oh, Jiminy Crickets.
Immediately pregnant. Mormons.
Yeah, who knows? Probably one pump chumps, but it's a workaround, and a lot of people will do it, and it doesn't mean you've lost your virginity or you've had sex. Apparently,
And God still loves you.
God still loves you.
And you're still getting in. You're still getting
You're still
in past
clean.
those
You
pearly
still get your own
gates.
universe. Yeah, exactly.
But you probably don't believe that. So that's soaking. Today's Roadhouse Word of the Week.
Challenge to you guys. Use that. Go out and do it with somebody.
Yeah, send us some
Somebody you love.
gifts. Send us some images that best describe soaking, and we'll send you some stickers.
That's right. Especially you Mormons out there in Utah.
Yeah, all you Mormons, you guys need something to do. All right, guys, thanks for showing up to the Roadhouse Party podcast.
Been real.
It's been real. My favorite Winnie D's back in the house. We will be back next Monday. I hope you guys are all hungover today and get through today. because you got a long week ahead of you. Pedialyte, Gatorade, cocaine. No, if you want to just drag out that hangover, sure. All right, guys, attack the week. Don't sleep on your priorities. Get your shit done. Don't forget to subscribe to the Roadhouse Podcast on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Google Play Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud. We're literally everywhere. So come join us. Join the Roadhouse Mafia. Subscribe to our shit. We love you, and we greatly appreciate you guys for listening. This is the Roadhouse Podcast, the most natural, unapologetic podcast in the world.
Yeah, we got some Russian dance moves to bust out.
Yeah, we're going to go do some cake stands right now. We'll get back to you. We'll recap this Russian party. See you, boys. Peace.
Later.
Roadhouse Mafia.
If I got to fight to get you in the gym, that's a problem. If you're lazy, man, I don't want to talk to you. I won't deal with you. Well, I don't think so. You can go over there. You start with, what do you want your game to be? What would make your game most unstoppable or hard to deal with? And now you work backwards from there. And you start building it one piece at a time, one move at a time, one counter at a time. It's a simple thing of math. If you want to be a great player, if you play every single day, 2-3 hours, every single day, over the course of a year, how much better are you getting? Most kids will play maybe, an hour and a half, 2 days a week.
Right.
Do the math on that. It's not going to get it done.
If I could work that hard every day, with being blessed with the physical tools that I have, what would my career be? And I made a promise to myself from that day that I was going to work that hard every single day, so that when I do retire, I have no regrets. And that was the most important thing for me, is to leave no stone unturned, get better every single day. And if I lived that way, then over time, I'd have something that was beautiful. But that was my philosophy. It seems like a pretty simple one, but if you live your life to just get better every single day, you do that for 20 years, what do you have?
You can't shortchange yourself. Like, you're not cheating anybody but yourself. Right? You're tired. You're literally this far away from the line. Why would you not go that extra to touch the line? Obsessively training 2-3 hours every single day over a year, over 2 years.
You're accelerating.
You make quantum leaps. Our job as teachers, as mentors, as inspirers, it's our responsibility to hold them accountable to those things.
You always want to outwork your potential. As hard as you believe you can work harder than that.
Well, it was 1,000 makes a day in the summertime. If we want to get to that elite level, we really have to put in the work day in and day out.